What's up, guys? So, took me a nap, back. So, if this video gets too long, I'm gonna make it into two parts, and this will probably be where part two starts. If not, we're still on part one. So now we've got our urethane off. We've got the sheet metal over there on the truck around the window cleaned out. Maybe we'll go put it in for a test fit real quick, make sure it's good to go. Make sure all our gaps are correct. And all that. But some other tips and tricks that that I want to say I picked up on the YouTube. So I got my urethane meant for windows. We're gonna use that. So one was I wasn't too sure how to make the nozzle thing. I learned this little V-crack thing. We're gonna do that. I'll show you about that in a second. And then so let's say you did cut off your things are cut off. Another thing I learned was if you take some of the old urethane, it makes for good chunks where you might be able to make some new spacers. You can make your own. So I mean, that window needs to be 3/8 of an inch away from that sheet metal. So I don't see a problem making your own spacers. You know what I'm saying? Your own little guides. You know what I'm saying? Put four. Two more towards the middle, and then two on the outsides, and same for the bottom. So I thought that was a pretty slick idea. If your guides are gone, why not make your own? I don't see an issue with it. So, and then plus it's urethane, maybe just urethane it on there. I don't see why that wouldn't work. So I thought that was a pretty cool tip. Other than that, let me flip the camera. Let me show you a couple more tips. And one other thing I'm going to be using is this. I feel like this will make out a real nice steady bead. But the issue I was, having was how big do I make that bead? Do I zigzag it, or what do I do? From what I learned, just make a nice straight bead, and the nozzle is where the money's at. So let me show you what I learned, and hopefully it goes well. All right, guys, so we got our window here, got it all nice and cleaned up, got all the urethane out of there. So what I learned is you want to make that V. You don't want to cut it as a circle because I guess it leaves like a circle bead, and it doesn't make a nice whatever. So what I learned is if you make it as wide as the track, basically where you want it to go, it'll be perfect. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna give it a shot as a go. So that's how I knew how wide to make this. And then if you look, see, this is where you need to run that bead. So it's not rocket science. Another thing, I got the handles, help me put it in by myself. All right, so the next tip I want to show you guys is pretty slick. So what I noticed, I'm gonna grab my light because we're gonna need it, was as I was cleaning this bead and stuff, I didn't realize it, but I was scratching the window in some spots around the edge, and it is noticeable. And with this truck being white, it's gonna be really noticeable. So you see that corner? That corner looks like crap. So what I'm doing, yeah, you can see it right there. So we're gonna fix those basically. So I already took care of this corner. You can't really tell. You don't see any on the top. So basically we scratched the paint off. And if you took that urethane off, you probably did the same thing. So what I have here is just a little paint marker. It's flat black, which is perfect. That's flat black. It was working pretty good. So you can see right here I did it. And you notice you didn't see it before. And right there. So I left this clear for an example to show you. And basically, I just took it, and I could see where the line is. Basically, it just went. I'll probably have to do a couple layers and let it dry. But let's do a quick one, and I'll show you a quick little before and after. So this is all I did. Took a little flat back black paint. And let's see. And then another thing I was doing so I could see it better, I was taking a flashlight. So I could see where any of those little holes were at. Right there, see, there they are. So let's color those in too. Where are they at? Right here. I'm gonna let this dry before we go over it again, but I'll probably give it 3 coats just so I know it's covered. I think a little crazy because you're not gonna see this part of the window. It's in the cab, or it's between. Yeah, you're not gonna see it. So then, come in with this. Oh, see, it is a little better. We still got some work to do, so I'm gonna give it a couple coats. But you saw we did that bottom chunk, right? You see we're getting there. I mean, that first layer already looks better than that fat chunk missing. So I'm gonna go through and do the whole window. Then we'll go mock it up on the truck and we'll see how it looks. So hell yeah, she's coming along, guys. Heck yeah. Hi guys, so I got it Sharpied. I got the second layer on there. I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna put another one. I'm gonna go till it looks perfect. But I mean, you can see my hand. I was doing it by hand, so you can see I could. I gotta clean up that edge a little bit, but look, it looks so much better. I mean, there was a huge chunk missing. So, I mean, a foot away. I mean, you're not even gonna notice this on the truck, but how it was sitting before when we scraped it, you'd notice. It'd be all jacked up. So I got this corner about done. So I'm gonna let the paint dry. I'm gonna come in and clean up that edge. So this side was scratched up too. So you could really see it before. I mean, I didn't even know it was an issue because I just finished scraping this. It wasn't until I flipped it over and it's sitting on that white tile. I was like, oh my God, this window's all jacked up. But look at that, you can't even tell. Hell yeah. So, all right guys, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get this in the truck and see what it looks like mocked up. All right guys, so I got it mocked up in there. I'm here by myself and it's a little windy. So I just got the ratchet straps a little snug, holding it in place. Now I did have to loosen the coat hooks because the headliner sits under the rail. So basically when you're in the truck, you're not supposed to see the top rail. So don't try to put it above it or level with it. So one thing that I noticed is, look at this gap on the bottom, right? Well, actually no, for one, look, it's flush with the cab. So, look at that gap on the top though. So, remember I was telling you about the old urethane? I think what I'm gonna do is stick some spacers there till it glues and then I'll pull it out. So, let me see if I can get some spacers in there and see if we can get this window where we want it. So I want to totally be mocked up how I want to do it before I glue it. So other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good, huh? Okay guys, I think that worked perfect. So you can see I got one on that side and one right here. Lifted it up, perfect. See that gap up there? So, see, I'm glad I did this before I glued it in. And then the cool part, after I glue it in, I'll be able to pull those little chunks out. It looks pretty dang centered, it looks good. Centered up and down. So yeah. And then yeah, here she is. So heck yeah. So alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull it back out. I'm gonna do another coat of my little pen over any scratches on the black stuff. And then I want to make some marks because the window can go left and right a little bit, and I want it to be in the correct spot. Because look, let me push it over. Oh, you don't want it over actually. Whatever, you can go left and right. Alright, my bad guys. I wanted to take one more video, clean it up. I think it looks good. So still got to glue it in. Still got to pull out our spacers. So. Damn. Just want to show you before it got dark. Because I already had to bust the light out. Look at that thing. Oh yeah. That thing looks good. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you one more thing too before I pull it out. So remember I was talking about those guides, how they space the distance on how the window's supposed to be gapped? Because when I was cutting through here, I mean, it was thick. I mean, we're talking 3/8 of an inch thick of silicone. And I mean, it's definitely gonna be there. So basically the little guides here are what's holding the window from touching the cab. Because there's a gap here. Wait, I'll show you. You can see outside. And that's what it looked like when I took it out. There was a decent sized gap. So Heck yeah. And then the headliner tucks up right on that rail. Heck yeah, this thing looks good. Yeah, you can't see the headliner. Oh, I love it. And then remember the corners that I painted? Look at that, you can't even tell. They probably don't even need another coat. But I will give them one. But yes, that thing looks good. So, hi guys. I'm glad I showed you this. I didn't see no info when I did this, and this is my first time too. So I'm learning as I go on how to get this in right. So let's go ahead and pull it out. Give it one more coat of that marker, and we're gonna get it in there. I'm excited. And then hell yeah. Alright, so man, by the time we actually glue this thing in here, I mean, you're gonna know everything you need to know. So I was having a little dilemma because I was like, I didn't say it on camera yet because I wanted to wait till I got the info to tell you. I didn't want to give you no bad info yet. So remember I was talking about the guides, right? And they get you the correct up and down, right? So we definitely have the correct 3/8 gap away from the cap. That's on point. But I was like, man, why? Remember I said earlier, you can slide it left and right or you move it around, and then I put the spacers under there to make it even because it was sagging, right? And I was like, man, I thought these guys were supposed to be, guiding it where it goes. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, I don't understand. Because these guys, they were about, I don't want to say a quarter inch, maybe a quarter inch. I was like, man, what is going on? And I was like, am I not centered? What, am I too high? What is, because you got the guides right here on the bottom, and you just rest the cab on this. Simple enough, right? Just put the window in, rest it on the guide, pull it in, you're done. You saw it was sagging on the guide. And I was like, man. And that's why I put the rubber spacers there. And then, so I drew a line on the window, and this line is sitting in the middle of the rail. And I'm all like, am I too high? I got this window sitting too high, and I need to bring it down so that the lip's up here. And I was like, what the heck's going on? And then it occurred to me. So I went back and looked at some pictures of us stripping this out. And then I talked to a buddy who was trying to get one installed by a shop, and they said they wouldn't install it because there's not enough surface area for us to warranty it. I was like, surface area? So I went back outside, I looked at the truck, looked at my '08 picture, looked at the truck, and I said, I'll be damned. I said the '08 window is a quarter inch smaller all the way around. That's why that's happening. So, because I was like, man, maybe I only drew a line on the bottom. I couldn't do the top and look at the top because the headliner was there and I didn't want to bend it. And, so I only drew a line on the bottom. So I thought I was going crazy. I was like, man, I'm not hitting the guides. And then I put it on the guides and I look outside and that window is way too low. And I said, yeah. So basically, if you got a 9907 with that rubber gasket, your window is a half or a quarter inch bigger. So that, think about it, you got a lip right here, right? Let's say it's an inch. And then you take off a quarter inch, and then you put it on the guide. Now your window's sitting a quarter inch too low. God, it makes so much sense. All right, so I'm glad I did put those rubber stoppers. I didn't even know the windows were different. I just didn't like it sitting on the guide and sitting too low. I was like, what the heck? So good to know that the up and down guides are useless pretty much. And yeah, but so we're still, yeah, definitely run those little rubber stoppers and get it centered on the bottom of the window and just let it dry like that. That's definitely the way to go. So, the things I keep finding out about this window. This thing's got a lot of, tricks up his sleeve is pulling on me, I'll tell you what. So, other than that, so I drew my line, and I guess that's where it's gonna sit. So, because I went out and looked at the truck, and I said, maybe I still do have it a little too high, and, we'll have a full lip here, and maybe a half a lip here. Maybe I could, bring it down a little bit. And then, you know, I went out and looked at the truck, and I was like, nah, it'll be the same. It's getting half a lip all the way around. I said, I'll be damned. And then so I came to the sides, and I got the same thing, you know, that. So I drew this line. This is where the cab's sitting. It is damn close. So you got about maybe a little more than a half inch of lip. So when I drew this line, I had the Sharpie at an angle, so it'd be behind the sheet metal. I didn't draw it straight, but yeah, my mind's blown. So sorry about that 5-minute rant, but let me go ahead and flip the camera, and I think this thing will be ready to go in. I'm a little nervous now, because I don't know. Anyone verify this? Anyone? No, I'm just going off my guesstimations and pictures. Alright, well, let me flip the camera. You know what else I thought about too? So, my buddy said he got a used one and then had a shop put it in, and he says that sucker's sitting way too low and it leaks. I was all like, well, we know why it's sitting too low. That's obvious now, because the hole's bigger, it's sitting too low because the guides are useless. So we gotta make our own guides. Boom, now we get the window back centered. But he said it makes sense now, because if you sit it on them guides and your window's sitting lower, then think about it, you got about a ½ inch right here to play with, right? So now think about it, on the top, you probably got maybe a ¼ inch. That thing is just kissing the seal, just barely. That makes sense. So definitely get this window centered. Man, oh my God, all the sagging back 08 windows I've seen. Ooh, man, I bet you give them one good kick to the top, they'll pop out. They gotta have, you know, probably less than a ¼ inch of working, you know, gluing surface up here if they're sitting that low. Oh my God. Oh well, alright, let me flip the camera. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I did about 3 coats of my flat black paint pen. This thing comes pretty handy. And you can see how I did it. You know, it's all right here, 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 here. And, you know, it don't look too good in here, but once the silicone, you can see it. But, you know, come in with the flashlight, nothing. So I'm not too worried about those little speckles, because that's where the silicone's gonna sit. And you can't really see that from the outside anyways. It was just, you saw those big gouges. So we got it looking nice and pretty. I went ahead, you know, I did some up here. I just went and checked the whole lip of the window, basically. And I don't want no white paint coming through. And we got this side looking good. See, I got my lip looking pretty. So heck yeah, I'm glad we got that fixed up. And then I'll show you the outside. Looks pretty good. I mean, you can't even tell if the window wasn't so shiny. But yeah, you can see this side. Oh, get the reflection out of there. Looks good. I like it, guys. So, oh, there we go. That's a good clean look. So, other than that, I've been really trying to figure out, do we want to glue on the body or do we want to glue on that? And that's been my biggest, I've been procrastinating all day. And so I've been doing a lot of research, and all the research found everyone doing it on the body. But I feel like this window's a little different, you know? Why would it give me all those tracks and those lines basically where to put it, kind of? And then so I've been watching this one guy all day. He seems pretty professional. I mean, his videos are really good, and everything he does is the way I would do it if I was doing it. And so I was scrolling through his videos trying to find one of these windows. And of course there ain't one, but he's doing a Dodge here that has a exact same thing. You know, it's got literally the same motor and the pull cord for the power window, and he's got to glue it in and everything. And one of the tips he said was take a bristle pad and scuff up the window. Now we already did that, it's pretty scuffed up, but he also did the truck. And I was like, oh, that's genius, because the truck is still fresh gloss paint. And you know, we're gonna need every ounce of grip power we can get. So I'm gonna go grab a bristle pad. Actually, I got some 400 sand grip paper on my orbital sander. I bet that'll do the trick. And basically buff up the lip a little bit so this will really grip. So I'm gonna do that. And then he recommended putting the bead on the window. I was like, oh, I knew it. So yeah, let me show you guys. But in case you need any glass stuff, just watching this dude's videos. It's pretty freaking good. So
okay, so you could use this. This would be helpful. As you can see, I'm removing all that shiny off.
yeah, see?
you want to have somewhere to the urethane to grab. So, but I have this one. It's even the grid is lower. So, look at that.
Perfect. So basically, that's what I'm gonna do on the truck.
You just want to make sure that it grabs. So have something for it to grab correctly. After this, I'm gonna prime it. Well, first I'm gonna. All right, guys. So come and take a look right here. I did the primer. I applied 1 coat of primer here,
Me
and
too.
I cleaned that over there. And on the body seams, on the corner of the bottom, you normally need primer on those spots, but there was no scratches done whatsoever all the way around the body of the vehicle. So, good to be applying the urethane to the glass.
So I was looking at his beads. That's why I'm gonna cut this into a V. Everything, I'm literally gonna copy exactly him. But I was like, yes, this is the video I wanted to see. You guys get the point.
I did do a dry set just to make
So, you guys are gonna want to watch his videos. I recommend it. Definitely, that's how I kind of figured out a lot of stuff how to glue this. So, all right, guys, I think the time's come. Let me set up the gun and all right, let's get her in. I don't know what else to tell you. Let's get her done. Okay, so I came and I scuffed the window. This is like some fancy like 400 grit. It worked pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, you can see how the top's like white and the bottom's still shiny all the way across. So get it up here. Did it really good. Cause I don't want to be messing with the top. I mean, that's where it's gonna rain. But yeah, if you look like right there, you can see we're still glossy. Cause I didn't want to get in the crack. Basically, I didn't want to scuff this up because you can still see this. So don't scratch this, just get there. So, and then we got my spacers on there, the same ones. I just taped them in place. So theoretically, I can come bring the window, set it in that corner. Well, now I think we're ready. I think the time's come. Hi guys, I keep procrastinating this because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I've never glued in glass. This is an expensive window. I'm doing it by myself. And I don't know, the truck's tall, you know, it's a big window, but our gun's ready to go. I got the nozzle cut. I think I'm gonna start it on, you know, I think it's got 6 speeds. I'm gonna start it on 3, see what happens, maybe speed it up. I'll let you know what speed I go. Now for the window, I was worried about the motor swinging around and it hitting the urethane. So I was like, man, how am I gonna hold the motor? I don't know, like it just needs to be put somewhere. So I was actually able to wedge it into between the motors. So I opened this up and then I closed it on itself basically. And it's in there pretty good, so I think I'll trust it. So, well, I guess we better do a vertical test. I think it'll get the job done. And I just don't want any of these cables to hit the urethane while I'm moving it. And then in the truck, I got a pile of rags, some brake cleaner, and Windex in case it gets somewhere it's not supposed to. I can get it off real quick, okay? Because I've seen videos where guys do it, and they're like, oh, I got it in, yeah, let me go crack a beer. And they come back and like, oh shit, there's a whole black streak across the window. How do I get that off now? So, yeah. All right, guys, wish me luck. I'm gonna go set the camera up in the truck so you can watch me make a fool of myself or look like a pro. Wish me luck. So I'm trying to push it all the extra up into the window. show you guys the top here in a minute, but it looks good. My biggest concern was the sides because there's a fat gap. Alright guys, she's in there. That was fun. That was really fun. Let me hop in here. I got my spare. We're next to my dad's bedroom. And he's asleep. Alright, check it out though. Yeah, it came out pretty good. Pretty stoked with this. So I did take my fingers and go like that, and then come here and wipe and clean this off, you know, while I had the chance. You let that stuff harden, otherwise you know it's game over, boy. So, well, yeah. Sucker's in there. Alright, let me show you top. I think it's in there pretty good. Because I definitely put a lot more silicone in there than that. So that tells me it's in there for sure. But hell yeah. And then, check it out. Ain't got none oozing out. Alright guys, I'm headed to the garage. We'll be there in a second, but I'm stoked. I'm gonna let these straps, I'm gonna let them stay on there for 2 days. Why not, you know? But Ashley did it.